What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Saturday, October 28th. Well, guys, we have an interesting weekend ahead of us. We were quite solid with those free picks and premium picks on Friday. On Saturday, we of course have El Clasico. It's 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. The biggest derby in the world, probably between Barcelona and Real Madrid. And then on Sunday, we have big Manchester derby between Manchester City and Manchester United, which should be equally interesting and should be quite exciting as well. For more free picks, go to the YouTube channel, of course. Sign up, hit that like button, subscribe, guys. Get those free winners, and let's have a great day betting. As far as my best bets goes, go to the Pickdawgz Premium section or simply click the link in the description of this video. That will get you up to my page, and there you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. Uh, like I said, guys, we have a very exciting day ahead of us, and of course, we have the MLS playoffs kicking off on Saturday as well. The picks for that you can find in a separate video. As far as this one goes, guys, let's get this show on the road. Chelsea versus Brentford in the EPL, first game of the day, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Should be an interesting game, and it looks like the Chelsea's finally getting the hang of their form. They're finally a little bit more dangerous in that attacking end. And last week against Arsenal, they were actually quite solid, especially in the first half. They were controlling the game, but as the game progressed, especially in the second half, they fell behind, and Arsenal got back from 2-0 down to 2-2, and it was unnecessary drop of 2 points for Chelsea. As far as Brentford goes, they are finally back on the winning track. They have beaten Burnley 3-0. But that doesn't mean that their defensive problems are now over because they do have a lot of them, and they do have a lot of missing players because of the injuries or suspensions. So in this game, I will take Chelsea team total goals over 1.5 minus 139. I think that's a price we have to take. I'm not quite confident enough to take Chelsea on the money line and goals, but I do believe that they are dangerous enough right now to score at least a couple of goals at home. So Chelsea team total goals over 1.5. Arsenal will be hosting Sheffield United in the next matchup, and after beating Sevilla in the Champions League 2-1, which was a win that Arsenal needed in the Champions League, they are pretty heavy favorites against the weakest team in the league, and that is Sheffield United. Sheffield United has only 1 point so far this season. They are at the bottom of the table. They haven't won any of their last 11 games. They haven't won any of their last three games against Arsenal, while Arsenal hasn't lost to Sheffield in any of their last six games. I know we have to be a bit careful when we bet on a team that's coming back from the Champions League match just a few days ago, but this is a game that Arsenal has to win. On top of that, Sheffield United has a bunch of injured players. They have a couple of suspensions as well. So I think that Arsenal will try to step it up here. They have the depth, they have the quality on the bench, and I think they will get a win here. So I think they're going to start fast. I think they're going to start early. So I'm going to take over 1.5 goals in the first half at minus 108. Bournemouth and Burnley is the next matchup in the EPL, and these two teams are two of the teams that are struggling are struggling quite a lot so far this season. Bournemouth on a three-game losing streak right now, Burnley on a two-game losing streak, and I always somehow think that Burnley is gonna step up, and they are a solid team in my opinion. I think that they have potential to stay in the league. I think that they have potential to play great soccer this season. We see glimpses of it every now and then, and Bournemouth is actually, I think, the opponent that will suit them quite a lot. And I think that Burnley will get at least on the scoreboard in this game. Now, can they keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth on the road? I don't think they can. Bournemouth has been decent so far this season at home. Uh, Maybe not as offensively, but I think that they see this game potentially as being winnable, and I think they will go for it. So I'm gonna take both teams to score in this one at minus 148. The last game of the day in the EPL is between Wolverhampton and Newcastle. Now, Newcastle had a horrible game against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League earlier this week. They missed a ton of chances. They hit a crossbar like twice in the last 5 minutes of a game. They just couldn't get on the scoreboard. They ended up losing this game 1-0, and now it's time to get back on track. Wolverhampton hasn't lost any of their last two games, but everything that Newcastle missed in that game against Borussia Dortmund, I have a feeling it's going to come back to them in this game. So I'm going to take Newcastle team total goals over 1.5. And we are getting that at minus 134, which is actually quite a good price on a team that's going to try to bounce back and get a nice win on the road. Off to the Spanish La Liga, guys. And the first one we have El Clasico. We have Barcelona versus Real Madrid. And by all accounts, it should be a very, very good game because we have two teams in outstanding form. Barcelona hasn't lost a single point at home so far this season. They have 5 wins out of 5 games. Real Madrid on the road so far this season has 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. They have scored 11 goals in 6 games, conceded 5. Uh, and because both teams are coming off of the Champions League games earlier this week, and they both got a win 2-1 for Real Madrid against Braga and 2-1 for Barcelona against Shakhtar, uh, I think that this game has everything that it has to have to be a great El Clasico. El Clasico with chances on both sides, El Clasico with goals, and on top of that, I see that De Jong and Lewandowski have been upgraded to being questionable, and João Felix is listed as questionable as well. But I think he will be ready for this game as well. Uh, Militao listed as questionable for Real Madrid. There has been some concern that Bellingham suffered an injury in the Champions League, but Carlo Ancelotti already said that it was something minor and he will be ready to play in this game. And I actually see that Arda Güler has been listed as available for Real Madrid in this game, and we might see him getting a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 at the end of the game in this El Clasico. The last 3 games have gone over 2.5 in this matchup. And the over 2.5 in both teams to score hits more often than not. And like I said, I think this is going to be the game where we're going to see chances on both sides. Both teams playing in great form. Both teams coming off of a Champions League match. Nobody has the rest advantage. So I'm going to go with both teams to score in over 2.5, minus 130. I'm hoping the price will go down a little bit more as we approach the game time, but minus 130 is not a bad price on two teams in such a great form. So El Clasico, Barcelona versus Real Madrid, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. The second game that we have to talk about in LaLiga is between Cadiz and Sevilla. And this is a golden opportunity for Sevilla to get a win. They haven't beaten anyone in 5 games. Cadiz hasn't beaten anyone in 6 games, and they are on a 3 game losing streak. And I know that Sevilla was playing in the Champions League. They actually played really well in the second half against Arsenal. Uh, as soon as they conceded a goal, they got one back. And I simply think they have to go for the win here. They do have an injured player. They have a suspension, if I'm not mistaken, as well. But Cadiz is missing a ton of players as well. So, like I said, this is, in my opinion, a golden opportunity for Sevilla to get a win. And I'm going to side with Sevilla here, which is plus 120 right now. Off to the Italian Serie A, guys. Sassuolo is playing against Bologna, and this team has been a little bit disappointing as of late, to be honest. They haven't won any of their last 3 games. They haven't been as effective when it comes to scoring. They have scored only 1 goal in those 3 games, and that's simply not enough for a team that has so much offense and the team that can beat anyone. As far as Bologna goes, they're actually undefeated in their last let me 6, 7, 8 games in a row. And even though they haven't won a lot of those, only 3 of those 8, uh, they are still a very, very solid team that's going to be hard to beat this season. On the road, they have played 4 games, they have 4 draws. They are quite solid defensively on the road, but I mean, Sassuolo has to do everything they can here to get to the scoreboard. If they do, and if they try to do, I think that's going to leave them a little bit wide open for Bologna here. And Bologna actually hasn't been scoring a lot or conceding a lot on their own, but I think that with Sassuolo's sloppy defense right now, I think they will get to the scoreboard. So both teams to score in this one, minus 167. I think the best way to bet this one will be to put it in a double with something else, but as a single, minus 167 is not bad at all. So take Sassuolo Bologna, both teams to score. Lecce and Torino is the second game of the day in the Italian Serie A, and I think this was going to be a real hard fun battle. Torino I think that they are a great team. I think that they're capable of playing a lot better than they are playing right now, and they haven't won any of their last 5 games. Luckily for them, Lecce, they have been solid at home so far this season. They have been solid overall, period. But they haven't won any of their last 4 games, and I think that both teams will be slightly more focused on defense in this game, and that should give us a little bit slow first half. So I'm gonna go with the first half draw, minus 104 in this matchup. If something's gonna happen, I think it's gonna happen in the second half, possibly late in the second half. And that's my reasoning for this game. So Lecce versus Torino, first half draw. Juventus and Verona is the last game of the day in the Italian Serie A, and Juventus is on fire right now. They haven't lost any of their last 4 games. They're coming off of a win against Milan 1-0, and that's going to be a huge, huge confidence boost for this team. They are missing some players because of the injuries and suspensions, yes, but still, they have a lot more quality than Verona does, the team that hasn't won any of their last 7 games and the team that hasn't beaten Juventus in any of their last 3 games. Now, when playing at home, Juventus also hasn't lost to Verona in any of their last 14 games. On top of all that, guys, Verona has scored only 6 goals so far this season. They have scored only 3 goals in 5 games on the road. They have conceded 6. Defensively, they are decent enough, but I think that Juventus will get the job done here. So I'm going to take Juventus to win 2-0 at minus 105. In German Bundesliga, guys, we have the most games in Saturday, and we are going to kick it off with this Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Heidenheim. Borussia Mönchengladbach has been struggling a lot. They are all over the place. When I think they will play well, they go on and screw the pooch. And Heidenheim on the road so far this season, winless, 1 draw, 3 losses. If I had to choose a side, I had to lean towards the home team, of course. And Borussia Mönchengladbach has been successful in this matchup in the past, but Heidenheim has been scoring goals quite consistently. So I think the way to go with this game are goals. And I'm going to take over 3 goals at minus 139. This is an Asian line, which basically means that if we get 3 goals, we're getting a push. If we get 4 or more, we are going to get a win. But I wouldn't shy away from goals in this one, to be honest. Augsburg is hosting Wolfsburg in the next matchup in the German Bundesliga, and this one potentially could be very interesting because Wolfsburg is on a 2 game losing streak right now. But I know they have been a little bit sloppy as of late. But Augsburg overall, they're having decent seasons so far. They're in the middle of the table. They're coming off of a 5-2 win against Heidenheim, but I somehow have a feeling that Coach Niko Kovac for Wolfsburg has been very rough when it comes to practicing this week, and I think that they will be in top form and top shape, ready for this game. So I'm gonna take a bit of a risk here. I'm gonna take Wolfsburg on the money line, which is minus one, actually plus 135 right now. I think it's definitely worth a shot, and I think this is gonna be the game where Wolfsburg will bounce back and get back on the winning track. Bayern Munich is hosting Darmstadt, and as we can see, they are massive, massive favorites. They are coming off of a win against Galatasaray in the Champions League 3-1. They are getting Manuel Neuer back for this game, and he will start between the posts after almost a year out. He's back in the lineup. He's taking his position. Sure, that might be some additional confidence boost for this entire team, and despite all the injuries they have, and they're missing Gnabry, Guerrero, Upamecano, and Goretzka. This is still a very, very stacked team who has Harry Kane up front. Sane has been playing really well. And on top of that, they have never lost to Darmstadt in the past. And Darmstadt hasn't had a very good start to the season. They have conceded 22 goals already. They have been scoring a decent amount, but I don't think that they will get a I don't think they will get a lot of space in this game from Bayern Munich. So I'm going to take Bayern Munich minus 1.5 in the first half, plus 100. That's one of the few picks for this game that has any value. And unless you're confident enough, I would just skip this game or put it in the parlay with something else or take goals, take over 4.5 goals. It could easily happen, but I think they will try to put this one to bed as soon as possible, and I think they will start quickly. So Bayern minus 1.5 in the first half at plus 100. Werder Bremen and Union Berlin is the next matchup, and I simply don't know what to say about Union Berlin. They lost another one, this time in the Champions League to Napoli. 1-0. They were hanging in there. I just don't know. It's a very very bad time for Union Berlin right now, and the worst thing is they haven't scored a goal in any of their last two games. Now in this game they're also coming with a few injuries, uh, and I don't know. It's they have been all over the place. This is their what eighth, ninth, tenth, tenth loss in a row. They simply have to change it up. They have to do something. They have to take more risks. They simply have to get to the scoreboard. Luckily for Union Berlin, they're playing against Werder Bremen right now, who is also on a three-game losing streak, and they are missing a bunch of players as well. And you know what? I will side with Union Berlin. I know I said I will keep fading them until they get the first win, but I have a feeling about this one that this might be their time, and I think they will finally get a win. I think that they are the better team than Werder Bremen is, but I don't know. We'll see. It's plus 155 on Union Berlin right now. I'm willing to take it, put half a unit on it or something like that, and let's hope for the best in this one. Stuttgart and Hoffenheim. And this should be a very interesting game because we have two teams in a solid form. Hoffenheim, they have been perfect on the road so far this season, 4 wins out of 4 games, but Stuttgart has been absolutely lights out. Stuttgart is second place. They have 7 wins and 1 draw this season. Have in mind that this is the team that had to go through playoffs at the end of the last season to stay in Bundesliga, and now they are in second place. They are one of the most effective teams in the league. 25 scored goals, only 8 conceded goals. They have scored 16 goals when playing at home. That's 16 goals in 4 games. That's an average of 4 scored goals per game. Now we have to be a little bit careful because I see that that Guerassi is listed as injured. He suffered some kind of injury last week when they have beaten Borussia Mönchengladbach, maybe I'm not sure. No, it was Mainz. I don't know. But he suffered an injury and he's listed as injured here. Now, have in mind that that might change until the game time. And I know that Stuttgart is not just Guirassi, and they have another few great players up there. They are scoring goals. They're creating a lot of chances. But this, I, I think this is going to be a fantastic game with a lot of shots, a lot of chances on both sides, and I think we're going to have a great match here. So we have to dig for some value somewhere. Over 2.5 is quite expensive. Over 3.5 might be the way to go, or both teams to score at over 2.5. But I decided to take Hoffenheim over 3.5 shots on target in this one, and that's minus 109. Hoffenheim is one of those teams that's been having a great season so far. Like I said, they're perfect on the road, and I think that they will create enough chances here to get us these 4 shots on target that we need. So, Stuttgart against Hoffenheim, over 3.5 shots on target for Hoffenheim at minus 109. Excuse me. The last game of the day in Bundesliga is between Leipzig and Köln. And Köln finally got a win. They beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 3-1 at home. Hopefully, this is going to be a turning point for them. And Leipzig on the other side is coming off of a 3-1 win in the Champions League against Crvena Zvezda. And they had another great game. They created a lot of chances. They got another precious win, and they have to move that to Bundesliga right now. They are undefeated at home. They haven't lost to Cole in any of their last 4 games, while Cole is still winless on the road. But like I said, I think that this win against Borussia Mönchengladbach might be a turning point for them. Maybe not to get a win in this game, but definitely to get to the scoreboard. So I'm gonna take both teams to score in over 2.5. We are getting it in a nice even money plus 100. I think it's gonna be a nice game to watch and enjoy, and I think we're gonna see some goals on both sides. So Leipzig against the Cole, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. In the French League One, guys, on Saturday we have 2 games, and the first one is between Reims and Lorient. Lorient has been so solid so far this season. They are actually scoring a decent amount of goals, 15 goals in 9 games. They have scored 6 goals on the road, while Reims on the other side has scored 6 goals at home and also 15 goals overall so far this season. And in the head-to-head matchups, we have seen both teams to score hitting. We have seen over, under, whatever. We have seen all kinds of different results. But as far as this one goes, I think we're gonna see uh, enough chances on both sides to get us some goals. And I think that Reim is the better team here, in my opinion, especially when playing at home. So I'm gonna take Reim team total goals over 1.5 at minus 162. That might be a decent enough pick to put it in the double with that other one I mentioned. And I think that should give us a nice plus money price on this pick as well. So Reim team total goals over 1.5 at minus 162. The last pick of this video is between Lens and Nantes, also in the French League One. Two teams playing in a pretty solid form. Lens actually on a three-game draw streak, but overall they are undefeated in their last 7 games, and they have a few wins as well. They have been scoring more goals. They have been defending slightly better, while Nantes on the other side is coming off of a nice win against Montpellier. They are actually on a two-game winning streak right now, 4 goals scored in those 2 games. And I think this is going to be another great opportunity for them to get a point or maybe even all three against Lens here. So in this game, I'm going to go with both teams to score minus 122. I think that the least we're going to see in this one is going to be uh, a goal on each side, especially because Lens was playing in the Champions League earlier this week. So Lens against Nantes, both teams to score at minus 122. And we have parlay of the day as well, guys. As the last segment of this video, I am going with a five leg parlay as well, as I usually do for Saturday. It pays on at plus 337. It's not a big one. I went to the safer route, and hopefully this was gonna hit for us. So Arsenal to win it over 2.5 goals. Bayern team total goals over 2.5. Stuttgart versus Hoffenheim over 2.5 goals. Barcelona versus Real Madrid over 2 goals. That's an Asian line, just a bit of a safety net for us. And I'm gonna take Juventus on the money line. Like I said, guys, based on it plus 337. Hopefully, this is gonna be a nice hit for us, and hopefully, it's gonna be a way for us to make some additional money on Saturday. So 5 leg parlay, guys. Get it down. Put half a unit on it. Put a unit on it. Put whatever you can, and be careful. Of course, it is a parlay, 5 leg parlay that is. So we always have to be careful with those. So let's hit this one, guys. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. I hope you have a great Saturday, guys. Good luck with all of your bets, and of course, stay tuned for more free picks coming soon.